Everyone keeps saying androgenic alopecia has no cure, but no one tells you what actually can be fixed. And trust me, it's not what you think. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about androgenetic alopecia. This one autoimmune disease that everyone thinks has no cure, and it is a genetic issue. But in this video, I'm going to reference back to my Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, how I reversed it, and it is an autoimmune disease that also has no cure whatsoever according to periodicals and according to research, but how I actually reversed it and how you can actually reverse androgenetic alopecia permanently on your own. And by the end of this video, you will actually understand how hair follicles work, how androgenetic alopecia works, and how there is actually a solution that is outside from medical practice, that is outside from what dermatologists tell you, that is outside from what doctors tell you. So we're going to get into this video right away. According to Thyroid Cancer Center and according to Cleveland Clinic, Hashimoto's hypothyroidism has no cure. Once you have hypothyroidism, you have to take the medicine for a lifelong treatment. And when this happens, the thyroid gland is attacking itself, thinking it is in danger, and that is how you get hypothyroidism. Now, I'm going to refer to my story and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, how it happened, and how I took charge. And this is very important for you to listen because this story will help you understand how conventional Western medicine and how doctors do not know about these things. They just follow the policies, they follow the protocols, and they follow the rules. And how you can actually reverse androgenetic alopecia. So it is very important that you really listen to this story first because it is a connection. This started back in 2015 when I moved my city from one place to another and I suddenly had hypothyroidism. Now, because being a healthcare professional, I know my body and I listen to my body, so I know when changes are happening. I went to the doctor and I got a blood test done. And when I got a blood test done, I went to one doctor. Over the period of time, I changed 3 doctors. Okay, keep this in mind. So I went to one doctor. I told her, I think I have a thyroid problem. And she asked me, how do you know? I told her all the symptoms. I told her I have constipation. I'm going to the bathroom once every 2 weeks, which was a problem because I was going regularly 3 times a day. So with this drastic change, I know something is wrong. I also had pain in my legs. I had swelling in my legs. I had pain in my joints. I had lots of hair loss. I had brittle nails. I had dry skin, even to the point where my eyelids were swelling up. If you are one of those people, you know what I'm talking about. So I got my blood test done. And when I got my blood test done, the doctor saw my blood test. My TSH at this point was 4.50. Okay, keep this in mind. 4.50 TSH. Now, there is a range, okay, between what your TSH should be. Now, when you're within that range, the doctors say you don't have hypothyroidism, but actually you do. And you'll understand later in the story why. So the doctor says, you're fine, you don't have hypothyroidism. Maybe you just need to exercise more, you need to eat less, and you need to move more. And even though I was exercising every single day, I had an even healthier diet than I had before, I was still gaining. I gained 70 pounds in 3 weeks, which is unrealistic, but that is what exactly happened. I gained 70 pounds in 3 weeks. And the doctor said maybe work more often, like walk around, do more exercises. Even though I was working in a pharmacy, I was standing 8 hours a day. So I was doing all of my physical activities. It's not like this was something new for me because I was a very, very active person. So I said, no, I know something is wrong with me. So then I changed my doctor and I went to a second doctor. This was a second family doctor. Okay, this is all happening in Toronto. I'm speaking about Toronto. I went to the second doctor, same thing. I asked for a blood test. She says, you don't have hypothyroidism. And she said the same exact thing the first doctor said. Exercise, eat less, move more. I was like, no, something is definitely wrong. I'm not feeling okay. And during this time, my health is declining. Okay, I'm having heart palpitations. I'm having very difficult breathing. I had very difficult time even just getting out of my bed and going to work physically. So at this point, I was very tired. I was very frustrated. I did not know what to do. And I was just listening to the doctors, trying to eat less, move more, and I was sleeping 16 hours. So as soon as I would get home, on the weekends, I would sleep 16 hours. And as soon as I would reach home from work, I would reach home around 8 p.m. I would go straight to sleep at 8 p.m. and I would wake up next morning at 5 a.m. and I would still be exhausted. I knew something was wrong with me. So then I went to a third family doctor. Guess what happened? Same thing. I asked her for a blood test. At this point, my TSH was 4.75 and it increased in 3 weeks to 4.95. Okay, that is very dangerous. I could not even walk like from one block to another block. I was having so difficult breathing, and my neck from here, my thyroid gland, it would swell up. And it would swell up to the point where I would not be able to breathe, and I felt like I'm getting a thyroid cancer. So this is the time where I took action myself. And I was like, that's it. I'm tired of these doctors. I'm tired of their stupidity. I'm tired of their knowledge. They don't care about their patients. Even though they pledge that they will care about their patients, they will do everything in the best interest of their patients' well-being. It doesn't work like that. Majority of these doctors become doctors just for the salary, just for the money. They don't care about their patients. So what happened is I asked the doctor, I want my own report. I want a copy of my report. I want to keep it for my records. I didn't tell her what my plan is. So I took that copy of my report. I found my own endocrinologist. I spoke with my endocrinologist, everything that is happening. She listened to my heart rate, heartbeat. She checked my thyroid. She gave me a scan for my thyroid. You have to do a scan for the thyroid. And she said, you have hypothyroidism and you've been misdiagnosed for 3 years. Okay, so now 3 years has gone by. I'm suffering. I'm having tachycardia. I'm having heart palpitations. I'm having trouble breathing. I'm having trouble walking. I'm constantly fatigued. I'm oversleeping. I'm losing hair. I have extremely dry skin. My eyelids are inflamed. Like everything wrong is happening at this point. So my endocrinologist was like top notch. She's like the best. She says, you have hypothyroidism. Let's get you started on medication right away. She checked my free T3, free T4, T4, T3, TSH. She did the entire panel. Confirmed Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. Okay, now what do? We started on Synthroid. So she started me on the lowest dose of Synthroid. So what happens at this point? She starts me on the lowest dose, okay? She puts me on it for 1 month. She said, I'll give you 1 month supply and then we'll go from there. Don't feel better, I go back. She increases the dose, 30 days, don't feel better, I go back. She increases the dose, so she kept increasing the dose. I'll put my prescription here as well. This is the recent prescription that I got, but I didn't take it because I don't need it. And I'm going to tell you in a minute how I reversed it, because this is very important, like I said, with androgenetic alopecia or every other autoimmune disease that doctors say there is no cure, okay? You need to understand this. So I told her, I did my own research and I told her, let's start on desiccated thyroid. And she said, I'll start you on Cytomel, because what essentially is what happening is it's not converting properly. So I took Cytomel and I took desiccated thyroid. Okay, that's not working. And I took it for about 6 months. I'm still not feeling better. I'm still having heart palpitations. My cholesterol levels are still extremely high, even though I have a plant-based diet at this point. So I got very frustrated knowing the person that I am, and I'm a healthcare professional myself. I was like, I'm not going to let anybody play with my own health. So what I did is I spoke with my endocrinologist and I told her, listen, I need your help in this and I am going to need your support. And she said, okay, in what terms? So I told her I'm going to go and do my own treatment with herbals, homeopathic medicine, Chinese medicine, and my own concoctions, like Islamic medicine. She said, okay, and then we have to keep like you under observation. So what I did is first I started off with herbs, my own herbs, like my own researched herbs, okay? So these were like conventional herbs that you found in the kitchen. For example, coriander seeds, I found that people would recommend to take 1 to 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, put them in water, soak them overnight, drink the water in the morning. I started doing that. And when I started doing that, I did that for about 3 months and drastically I lost weight. My thyroid gland decreased significantly. Like the swelling went down, the swelling in my legs went down. Okay, I was like, okay, this is work. Something is working. Something is right. And then with that, I did the amla therapy. So what I would do is I would juice amla, the fresh amla that you get. I would juice amla and take one shot of it along with this coriander seed. So I didn't stop the coriander seeds. That was also working. So I'm constantly getting blood tests at this time. I'm not taking any Synthroid. I'm not taking Cytomel. I'm not taking desiccated thyroid. So no Western medicine is involved at this point. So I kept doing my research. Along with that, I did homeopathic medicine. I did 3 different kinds. So I would like rotate them. So I did my own treatment with myself and I figured out an own cycle on my own. I didn't get any doctors involved because at this point, I have no trust in doctors. I have no faith in doctors. These 3 doctors have failed me. So I didn't want to get doctors involved anymore. And then I started on homeopathic medicine. And then after that, I found another treatment that I could use. And this is the 2 treatments that I'm about to tell you. This just blew it out of the water. Okay, this really reversed my hypothyroidism like permanently. I'm not on any medication right now. It's great. So what I did is I found this conventional treatment where you have to drink 1 liter of the specific tea that you make. And the reason I cannot explain the specific tea on YouTube because YouTube is going to take it down. They're going to give me a strike and they're going to take it down. So by the way, if you're interested in reversing your autoimmune disease, any autoimmune disease, the framework is going to be linked below. The first comment you will see, it will be linked there. So you can go ahead and check that out. So then I use this, okay? I used this framework for 7 years. It took 7 years to reverse this autoimmune disease, but the thing is, it actually worked. It actually reversed. I used it for 7 years, and then along with that, I used an Islamic medicine called Gasht-e-Shiri. Okay, Gasht-e-Shiri is a bark. It's a herb that was used back in the day when anybody would get sick. They would make it into a powder and they would give it to the patient. So what I did is I took that powder and I mixed it with white poppy seeds and I made it into my own capsules. So these are the capsules that I made. Don't read the label, that has nothing to do with that. So I got these empty shells from Amazon and then I filled them in with this powder. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but I filled it with this powder and then I started taking these 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And I did this thing for 7 years. And I kept going. Like, I didn't really need to stop in the middle. And slowly over time, my endocrinologist said, okay, we don't need to do further blood tests because you're doing fine on your own. So I said, okay, that's fine, no problem. So during the 7-year period, I probably had only 2 blood tests. So I'm going to put my reports on the screen for you when I had hypothyroidism and I was misdiagnosed. And then after I treated it, what my numbers were without Western medicine. And I will show you also a prescription that my doctor gave me, which was like quite recently, but I did not get it dispensed because I did not need it. So I'm going to put everything on the screen for you so you can actually see with your own eyes that doctors only follow protocol, policies, and procedures. They don't like to think outside of the box on what could happen if you do this. Okay, now I did this for 7 years consistently, and consistently I mean like I did not skip any specific day, no weekend. I did it every single day as if my life depended on it. And while I did this, I recently got a blood test done, which was this November, actually, November 2025. And my TSH was so low, and I could feel it in me that I don't have hypothyroidism. My TSH was so low, so the report actually confirmed that my treatment works, and I do not use any conventional medicine. I do not use any Western medicine. I'm not on herbs anymore. I'm not drinking any teas anymore. I'm not taking amla anymore. I'm not taking homeopathic anymore. I'm not taking anything. I have reversed, I have changed the medicine game, And I have understood how this works. Now, this next part is going to be very important for you. And if you don't understand this part, then you won't understand how to reverse this. So I had a discussion with my doctor, and that was in the beginning of November. And I told her about my experience. This is a new doctor, so she doesn't know me and she doesn't know about my experience. So I told her about my experience and exactly what happened, how it happened. She was looking at my reports and she said, well, that's very good. You should open your own clinic. And I said, well, here is the problem. I had developed a business blueprint that I sent to FDA. Okay, in Toronto, Canada, we have to send things to FDA to get approved before we can open any clinic as a legal medical practice. So I sent my blueprint to FDA and I wanted to open a clinic for psychedelics because I had researched psychedelics over a 5-year period and how it could cure trauma and depression permanently and how people could permanently fix this little trigger in their mind so that they don't experience these things ever again. Even after they go through a grieving period, they will not get into a depression state because psychedelics change your chemical reactions and your neurotransmitters in the brain. It's a whole different study that I did for 5 years. And when I sent it to FDA, they did not approve it. And I'm having this discussion with my doctor, and I told her exactly what's happening. I said, they did not approve my business blueprint. And she said, why? And I told her, well, think about it. If people are cured, if they cure their autoimmune diseases, if they're curing their depression and their anxiety, if they're curing all of their other diseases, how is your billion-dollar business going to run? Who is going to come to doctors? How are you going to build Health Canada? How are pharmacies going to make their billions of dollars that they make through people with depression medicine, anxiety medicine, people who have like autoimmune diseases? You have to take medicine for these things. If people are cured, who's going to take medicine? How is this billion-dollar business going to run? And it clicked in her mind. She's like, yeah, you're right. So that's why I said, this is the reason why, even though there's a cure for everything, they don't want you to be cured. Because if you're cured, you're not taking Synthroid every single month. You're not taking Cytomel every single month. You're not taking desiccated thyroid every single month. You're not going to take minoxidil every single month. So you're not going to take Avodart every single month, right? You're not going to take finasteride every single month. So basically pharmacy is losing business. The doctors are losing business because they're not writing the prescriptions for you. So it's a vicious cycle. So they don't want you to be cured. So this is why I cannot mention what protocol I did and what protocol I used here on video. If you really want to reverse any type of autoimmune disease you have, and this protocol works for all autoimmune diseases, then you can check the framework below. Now, the next part is the golden nugget of this, and that is androgenetic alopecia. Cleveland Clinic, any other periodical you want to refer to, any other reliable periodical, you can check everywhere online. You can check the entire internet. You can go to medical dictionaries. You can go anywhere you want. It's going to say androgenetic alopecia, there is no cure. You cannot reverse it permanently, but you can do some things to control the situation, right? Again, I've proved it wrong. And it's funny because you have the ability, like you right now, you have the ability to research, to find things out, not use AI to do it because AI cannot do the type of research that you can do on your own, okay? I'm going to give you some backstory. I'm going to go off topic a little bit and give you some backstory. I was born in the 80s, 87, okay? To be specific. During that time, there was no AI. During that time, internet was not full of periodicals and research, and it was not that advanced during that time. So when I was in pharmacy school, we had to go to a university library. We had to look at those really thick books for our experiments and go into each ingredient, and we had to look at what does paraffin do, what is the color of paraffin, what is the heating temperature of paraffin, how can you heat paraffin, how does it melt. So we had to look into each ingredient for our labs, and we had to fill out a chart and write it down so that we can go into the lab and then we can do it at that pace or at that temperature or in that with those instructions. Okay? We had to open these thick books, the CPS. We had to open it and we had to go on the drug and we had to check, okay, what does this drug do? What are the side effects? What are the adverse effects? What is it used for? What category does it belong to? So we went through that struggle of researching ourselves. What you do is you just go to AI, you go to ChatGPT, you go to Perplexity, and this is where things are failing for you. See, during that time, we never had short form video. We were not scrolling like this. We never had short attention spans. We were just sitting and researching and reading and reading and reading and reading for about 8 hours to 12 hours. I would have to study overnight for 12 hours to 14 hours because my tests were so hard on anatomy and physiology and about the brain. The problem right now is you're constantly scrolling, right? You have short attention span, so you don't even have the power and the ability to sit through one entire YouTube video. So right now, if you're watching this, you probably already skipped already because you have a short attention span. You don't have that kind of patience to sit and watch the video until the end so that any information in this video can actually help. Now, because you have the short attention span, you want to get the quickest information in the shortest amount of period as possible. That is where the problem is happening. Well, I'm here for you. I will give you that information, no problem. But you have the ability to go to a physical library. I love the ancient history type of libraries because they have information there that nobody even has access to. There are books there that have dust collected on them, but those books are gold. And those books have information like, if I had that kind of time, I would sit in those libraries all day from morning the moment they open until evening by the time they close and just read everything. I want everything to be in my mind because that information there is like, it's like out of this world. Like I can't explain to you. Like now, androgenetic alopecia. I'm going to show you my before and after right now on the screen before I go ahead and talk. So now that you've seen my before and after, you would think it's a miracle, but it's not a miracle. It's just knowledge. Knowledge is power. You've probably heard of this many times, but knowledge is actually power. And when you use it to benefit other people, that is when things change. Now, this also product is a very special product. It's not a miracle product, but it's a special product. Now, why do I say that? This product, it took me 5 years to do clinical research and tests on this product. So I sent it out to a lot of subjects and they used the product and they saw amazing results. Like full hair growth from like complete balding. I will show you pictures of my subjects here on the screen right now. So these were my clinical subjects that have used the product. Now, what is that product? The product is this, okay? It's called Miracle Locks. I've created this product. It's a hair essence and it's a watery type of texture, okay? Watery type of texture. Now, why is this special? This is special because it has over 11 peptides. These are targeted peptides that are for hair growth. Now, what happens when you use this? Well, when you use this, it travels down into the hair bulb like this. Okay, it travels down to the hair bulb and it activates this area. This is where the hair falls from. It goes, we apply the serum, goes down, activates the hair bulb, it strengthens the vessels around the hair bulb and the derma papilla. That is the most important thing, which other products on the market do not do. Now, if you're a person who uses minoxidil, how does minoxidil actually work? You use minoxidil. Minoxidil brings blood flow, right? It increases blood flow to the scalp. When that happens, it just grows out the hair strand, right? It grows out the hair strand. It does not do anything for the hair bulb. It does not do anything for the derma papilla. So when the hair strand grows, it just keeps growing. That's what minoxidil does. When you stop using minoxidil, what happens? If you're using minoxidil, you will know. You will lose all of the hair that you started with plus more. So it's just like, what was the point of using it? Because my goal in life is to fix anything that could be permanent. So, for example, like I gave you my story about Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, it was a permanent cure. I'm on no medicine right now. I wanted a permanent cure for androgenetic alopecia, and this is the reason why this hair peptide serum was created. Now, you're supposed to use this morning and evening. Goes down to the hair bulb, it dries completely. So you put it on in the morning, go about your day, it will dry down completely. And then in the evening, again, you would massage your scalp, you will put it on again, it will go down to your hair bulb and it will dry down completely. Now, this has changed the game for everyone who is using it, okay? This peptides, what are peptides? Let's talk about what are peptides. Biomimetic peptides your body makes on your own. When you're a living organism, your body makes thousands of different kinds of peptides. Peptides are chemicals that signal the body to do a specific task. So, for example, with skin cell turnover, it will create a peptide to create more skin cells, to create more collagen and elastin, to give you better and new skin. Now, same thing happens with hair, same thing happens with scalp, same thing happens with the organs in the body, same thing happens with the skin on top, the nails, everything. Now, when you are adding these biomimetic peptides to your scalp, it is telling the scalp, create more hair follicles, create more hair follicles. Now, you're going to consistently use this for about 100 days to 1 year to 2 years. It's going to keep saying, create more hair follicles. It is activating the gene that is already in your scalp, saying to create more hair follicles. Now that gene is sleeping. Okay, it's not dead, it's just sleeping. It's called epigenetics. Now, what happens is when you use this peptide, right? When you use this peptide not only increases the density of the hair follicle so that your hair follicle will have 3 to 4 more hair strands per follicle compared to one hair strand per follicle. Now, we'll show you a video of my results here of having 2 to 3 hair strands per follicle. Now, these results are over 100-day period, okay? Your results are not going to come right away. So if you think you're going to use this hair peptide and you're going to see results in the second month, that's not going to happen because all the results are happening on the hair bulb right now. Everything is activating on the hair bulb level. So it's not going to be, you won't be able to physically see it with your own eye. When can you actually see results from with your own eye is after the 100-day period. So what actually is happening is this is the normal follicle, right? And when you have androgenetic alopecia, the follicle shrinks over time. And when the follicle shrinks over time, it completely dies off from the bottom and from the top. And that is when you actually see balding with your own physical eyes. And this is what I have mastered. Okay, I have reversed this completely. Now, is there a internal way of curing this androgenetic alopecia? Well, like I said, use the 7-year framework that I have linked in the first comment below. You're going to have to eat a better diet because what is essentially happening is you're creating inflammation on the scalp when you eat a diet high in trans fat. So anything deep fried, potato chips, French fries, anything made with white flour, bakery, chips, cake, cookies, muffins, anything that comes in a package. You are causing an inflammatory response. Now what happens is when you create that response in your body, what happens is your body will attack the weakest part first. And what is that weakest part? Your scalp. It is not used for survival. It is a non-essential thing. And when your body attacks the scalp, your scalp gets inflamed, it gets red, you start to have pimples there, and there is a warning sign that's completely going off that your scalp is in danger. Now, when that happens, there is inflammation in your body as well on the other organs. So the blood rushes to those other organs, the adrenals, the liver, the kidneys, because it needs to save those for survival first. Your heart is beating really fast because you just fed it chips high in salt. So now your blood pressure, your heart is pounding. So the blood needs to go there to calm it down. So when this happens, your scalp is not getting the blood flow it needs. So when that happens over a period of time, 3 to 6 months to 1 year, the follicle shrinks completely, like I said, and it dies off. Now, the follicle is still there, it's just dormant. Now, you will ask me a question. What about when you don't have hair for a very long period of time? Now, I can answer that, but let me show you my mom's video first. She has had androgenetic alopecia for 20 years, and here she started out from here to here. Have a look. Okay, so my mom is 67 years old. She has androgenetic alopecia for over 20 years. She lost majority of her hair, as you already saw, and still when she uses this biomimetic peptides and the DHT blocking hair oil, which is the duo that comes together, she is gaining so many new hair strands. It's crazy. Every time I see results like this, I'm constantly blown away that this actually could cure androgenetic alopecia. And why do I say this could actually cure androgenetic alopecia? Let me tell you. This is not product dependent product. And what I mean by that is when you use minoxidil, you have to use it for life. Otherwise, you will experience losing all of your hair and even more. This you do not use for life. Your hair will not fall out again, even after it is going through those 4 stages cycle that every hair follicle and every hair strand goes through. You use this until you have reached your desired density, your desired amount of hair, your desired length. Okay, that could take anywhere between 1 to 5 years, and then you stop using it. That's it. You have cured androgenetic alopecia because you have activated that gene that says grow more hair, grow more hair, grow more hair. It's constantly feeding that information. So now it won't stop. Your hair will not stop growing, and you saw my results. And that is what I mean by curing and reversing androgenetic alopecia. Yes, it takes time. Like reversing my Hashimoto's hypothyroidism took 7 years. This is going to take 5 years, but 5 years is anyways going to go by. You are still going to be waiting in 5 years to find the miracle product that could work in 3 months. But those 5 years are still going to go by. Those 10 years are still going to go by. Time does not wait for anyone. So might as well do something important with that time. Do something valuable with that time. Do something important for you. Do an investment in yourself. You see what I mean? People look at the timeline as if, 5 years. Well, 5 years are anyways going to go by, right? 2026 is just standing around the corner. The whole year has already been lost. So what did you do in this entire year? How much hair did you actually grow? I grew a full head of hair, thousands of new hair follicles, thousands of new hair in 100 days. So I made it well worth it of my time. So do you want 2026 to be different for you? Or do you want 2026 to be a year of more balding for you? That you have to decide. But if you stayed until this end of this video, you will know exactly how to reverse your androgenetic alopecia and how you can get a full head of hair. Because trust me, a full head of hair is far more attractive than a balding woman, than a balding man. Let's think about it hypothetically, okay? If you have an option of 2 men standing side by side, both of these men have 6-figure salaries. Both of these men have their own house. Both of these men have their own car. Both of these men are financially stable. Which one are you going to choose? Obviously the one with more hair on his head. And why? It's not about looks. It's about genetics. The reason you're choosing the man with the fuller head of hair is because you in your mind are thinking, well, when I have children with this man, will my children have a full head of hair, or are they going to experience balding as well? Same thing goes with the female. A female with fuller head of hair is far more attractive and far more marriage material and wifey compared to that woman with a balding head of hair wearing wigs and wearing extensions, because wigs and extensions are easily seen by the naked eye. No matter how much you try to hide it between all of those curls and all of that volume, you can still see it. You can still tell that it's fake. Now, you can argue that, well, I'm going to use this essence and I'm going to have hair. So how does genetics play a role? It does. Because like I said, this activates the gene that you had of thick hair before puberty. So if you had thick hair before puberty and after puberty you started losing hair, well, guess what? You still have the thick hair gene. This activates the thick hair gene. It's epigenetics. And it activates the marker on your gene to grow more hair. Now, when that happens, so let's say somebody chose you for marriage because now you have a thicker head of hair. So what's going to happen with your children? They're going to have a thicker head of hair because you changed your genetic makeup. Now, scientists are still trying to research on how you can change that gene, how you can change the marker of thick hair, but they're researching it from a different view. They're not researching it from a topical product lens. Okay, they're researching it like, what can you inject in the body, or how can you remove a DNA, change the marker, and inject it back? They're doing a completely different ballgame. I did not do that. For me, I created a product that can go into your scalp, all through the layers of your thick scalp, down into the hair bulb where you don't even see it. And it will change that game for you. So in this video, we discussed about how to reverse Hashimoto's hypothyroidism and how it's connected to androgenetic alopecia, because both are considered autoimmune diseases that cannot be cured through periodicals, through any type of credible link or credible website that you want to find online. Every single place says it's not curable. So I just explained how to cure that, how to reverse that, how to reverse androgenetic alopecia, what are peptides, and how they can actually reverse your hair loss issue and fix it permanently over a 5-year period. So share this with other people so that everybody can benefit from it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this video and about my reports, and let me know about any experiences you've had with your doctor. You know, I actually went to a point where I told my doctor that I could sue you for this, but I don't want to get you in trouble because you just started your career. She had actually started her career at that time. It was just the second year of doing her medical practice. So I told her I'm going to be nice on you, because the thing is, they have like a big panel. They can make fake reports and they have like so many lawyers. So I didn't want to get into all of that fuss. So I just took control of my own health. So let me know in the comments down below any stories that you have of your own, and I would actually like to read them in my next video. So that would be amazing to read and amazing to actually listen to your stories, and I would actually give you a shout out in my next video as well. So let me know. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, and you know what to do.